Imagine a city disappearing from the map in an instant, and the lives of thousands of people changing forever. Natural disasters, the force of nature that shows no mercy. From tsunamis that crushed the coasts of Asia to hurricanes that destroyed everything in their path, these events demonstrate just how fragile our lives are against the power of nature. Why are natural disasters becoming more dangerous? What is behind their increase in recent years? In today's video, we will discuss the most tragic events since 1950 that not only shook the world, but also changed the course of history. You'll learn about shocking casualty figures, incredible survival stories, and how climate change contributes to increasingly extreme disasters. Stay with us until the end, because this is not just a story of tragedy, but also a lesson about survival, determination, and the strength of humanity. Tsunami in Japan, 2011. Let's start with one of the most shocking events of the 21st century. Imagine the ground shaking with a force of 9.1 on the Richter scale, and moments later, a gigantic tsunami wave hits Japan's coastline. This is when the Fukushima nuclear power plant was severely damaged. Fukushima went down in history, not only as the site of a natural disaster, but also a nuclear catastrophe. Radioactive contamination caused by the earthquake's destruction of the nuclear plant, thousands of victims, and images of devastation that still remain in the minds of people worldwide. This event showed that even the most advanced technology can't always save us. Over 18,000 people lost their lives. The tsunami destroyed nearly 400,000 buildings, and the damages were estimated at $235 billion. After the disaster, hundreds of thousands of people had to leave their homes and never returned. The Fukushima region remains partially uninhabited to this day. Hurricane Katrina, 2005. In 2005, New Orleans resembled a war zone. Hurricane Katrina, with winds reaching 280 kilometers per hour, completely destroyed the city, killing over 1,800 people and displacing more than 1 million residents. Floodwaters exposed the full extent of the disaster, ruined homes, helpless people, and the sluggishness of rescue services, which further fueled the tragedy. Criticism of U.S. authorities added fuel to the fire, especially since this disaster was somewhat predictable, but the lack of preventive actions led to one of the worst catastrophes in U.S. history. The destruction was immense. 80% of New Orleans was submerged, with estimated costs around $125 billion. The environmental impact was also severe. The flooding of wetlands led to the loss of valuable ecosystems that naturally reduced storm wave intensity. For residents, Hurricane Katrina meant years of tragedy. Many never returned to their homes, and the city lost a significant portion of its population. The recovery took years, and scars from this disaster are still visible today. Haiti earthquake 2010. In 2010, Haiti experienced a tragedy that would forever be etched in history. A 7.0 magnitude earthquake destroyed Port-au-Prince and other cities. Imagine this: 230,000 dead, 1.5 million homeless, and more than 280,000 buildings destroyed. What is most striking is the scale of destruction in a country that was already struggling with poverty and lack of infrastructure. The cost of the disaster was $14 billion, almost half of Haiti's GDP. But it didn't end there. The chaos following the disaster contributed to a cholera outbreak that killed thousands. To this day, Haiti is struggling with economic, social, and environmental consequences. Uncontrolled waste and lack of infrastructure led to long-lasting environmental pollution. This catastrophe was not only a test for the residents, but also for the entire world, which tried to help, often too slowly and ineffectively. Flood in China. The 1998 flood in the Yangtze River Basin is one of the most costly and terrifying events in China's history. Record rainfall caused the river to overflow, destroying everything in its path. Around 4,150 people died, and more than 14 million were displaced. Imagine this: 5 million buildings destroyed, and financial losses totaling $30 billion. The cause of this tragedy was not only nature, but also human activity. Deforestation and lack of environmental regulations made the scale of the destruction even greater. Climate consequences. River ecosystem destruction, soil erosion, and progressing desertification were just a few of them. For residents, the flood meant the loss of livelihoods, especially for farmers who lost their fields and crops. Though many years have passed since this disaster, the recovery took decades, and many communities never returned to their pre-disaster state. Indian Ocean Tsunami. 2004. In 2004, one of the largest natural disasters in human history occurred. A 9.1 magnitude earthquake shook the Indian Ocean floor, triggering a massive tsunami. Waves up to 30 meters high flooded the coasts of 14 countries, including Indonesia, Sri Lanka, Thailand, and India. The earthquake killed over 280,000 people, and around 2 million were displaced. The costs of this tragedy amounted to $10 billion, but the greatest losses were borne by people living in poverty, who lost everything in an instant. What's most shocking is that many victims had no idea what was coming. The lack of an early warning system meant that thousands were caught off guard by the destructive waves. The tsunami also destroyed coastal ecosystems, saltwater lagoons, and coral reefs, which had previously protected the coasts from storms. Recovery from this disaster took over a decade, and in some places, infrastructure never returned to its original state. This event highlighted how crucial it is to invest in warning systems and environmental protection. Earthquake in Turkey and Syria, 2023. In 2023, the world was shaken by a tragedy affecting both Turkey and Syria. A 7.8 magnitude earthquake destroyed thousands of buildings, taking more than 50,000 lives. The cost of this disaster was estimated at $34 billion, making it one of the most expensive in the region's history. But it's not just about the numbers. These are stories of people who lost everything in an instant: homes, families, hope for the future. One of the most shocking aspects of this tragedy was that many buildings, which should have withstood the tremors, collapsed like house cards. Why? Corruption and negligence. Saving on building materials, breaking regulations, and lack of construction quality control played a key role. In many cases, human errors amplified the effects of nature's forces. It's a sad reminder that natural disasters are often largely the result of human irresponsibility. Hundreds of thousands of people lost their homes. Temporary camps full of makeshift tents became the new reality for survivors. Lack of access to clean water, food, and basic hygiene became the daily norm. While humanitarian aid flowed from various parts of the world, it often didn't reach the areas where it was needed the most. Many were left to fend for themselves. The environmental consequences were also severe. The earthquake in Turkey and Syria is not just a catastrophe, but also a bitter lesson for the entire world. It shows how important responsibility, prevention, and adherence to building regulations are. While natural forces are inevitable, how we prepare for them is up to us. Will the world learn from this tragedy? We don't know, but one thing is certain. The lives of hundreds of thousands of people were forever changed, and their suffering will serve as a reminder of the cost of human irresponsibility. Each of these catastrophes showed how fragile our civilization is, but also how great the strength of human determination and the will to survive can be. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, now is the perfect time. Hit that subscribe button and click the bell to stay updated with upcoming videos. Also, check out my previous videos.